Hey guys, so last night Grinding Gear Games gave us a little bit of a sneak peek of some of these socketables that they're going to be adding in the patch 0.2.1 update. And overall, these are pretty cool, but there is a little bit of a concern that I have with this update and some of the socketables that they're adding, and I'll go into that a little bit, but for now, let's go over just a high level what they're bringing, right? So they're going to be bringing in, of course, 22 new runes. I think it was like 7 new talismans and like 14 new soul cores, right? And here are some of the things they're adding. So they showed off the Hedge Witch Asana's rune, which is a +1 to all level spell skills, which, I mean, honestly, I'm not really a huge fan of the crazy amount of level scaling that we have in Path of Exile 2, so I'm not like a big fan of this, but I think this is pretty cool. We have the Boots rune, which is going to be increasing our movement speed by 5%. We have the Body Armor rune, which is going to be giving us a little bit of kind of like a MOM type of ability with 10% damage taken from mana for a life. We also have the Soul Core of Takati, which gives you a little bit less chaos resistance. I guess gives the enemies less chaos resistance when you use a curse on them. Not sure how impactful that'll be. And we have the Talisman of Thraldana, which is going to be giving us a +1 to our poisons, which is really, really strong. I think poison builds are probably going to be using this as their best in slot talisman. But all this comes with saying that these are going to be valuable chase drops, so you're not going to be expecting to find these really quickly or easily or trivially. Now, what I will have to say is that I don't know how I feel exactly about these being chase drops, but we'll see how they are in the balance of things. And also, they are going to be making chase uniques a little bit less rare. So they have mentioned that in the last patch notes, so maybe these won't be that rare at the end of the day. But what I want to talk about mainly is going to be the Farrul's Rune of the Chase, which I think is potentially a little bit problematic. Now, don't get me wrong, right? This is a really cool rune, giving us move speed, which is something that we all desire. We all want more move speed, want to move quicker, is something that's very nice. And this will be nice if it's common enough to be able to put into your boots in campaign and be able to move through faster. But the thing is, and the issue that I find with this rune is that there is a potential situation where this is just going to be the best in slot rune for every single pair of boots. Now, right now, the meta is Energy Shield, and if you have Energy Shield boots, you're probably putting Iron runes in there. So in a sense, that is also best in slot, but if you're not playing Energy Shield, you're playing Evasion, or you're playing Armor, or some sort of hybrid, a lot of times you might not actually put an Energy Shield rune inside of those boots. You might put in like a Soul Core of Takati for chaos resistance, or you might just put in some regular resist runes in there as well. But what ends up happening is when you add the Farrul's rune into the game, I'm pretty sure that everybody is going to be putting this into their boots, no matter what. No matter what level you are, no matter what build you are, no matter what type of equipment you're using, you're going to be using this rune. So that kind of introduces some issues with like, well, basically you don't have any diversity at all with the type of gear that you're using, with the runes that you're using on your boot, and it's just all going to be using this rune, and it's going to make the prices skyrocket to be expensive as hell, and just in general, just kind of boring, right? I never really like it when basically there's something that is used across every single character no matter what the build, kind of like how Ingenuity was last season and still kind of is this season in terms of the belts. But I just don't really like that type of playstyle because every character is going to end up gearing the same way. Now, this kind of brings into a bigger discussion, which is talking about just like move speed in general on boots. And this has been talked about a lot in the past. And the idea of putting movement speed as an implicit onto boots has been tossed around in the past. And Jonathan did say that he would actually think about it and consider it. And I do think that this is probably a better solution to the movement speed problem than by adding a movement speed rune, because this makes it so that every single boot that drops will come with movement speed. Some is going to be lower rolled, some are going to be higher rolled, and that's fine. But right now we are in a case where if your boots don't have movement speed, then they are automatically worthless for the most part. And if you're able to have boots have an implicit movement speed in them, then you're never going to ever have to worry about, oh, am I going to be rolling movement speed on boots, which gives you one less area of RNG, though you still have to roll a high level movement speed in there. But one thing that I will say for sure, regardless of whether we think this is a good change or a bad change, is that ultimately I do like what they're doing right now with throwing things in that they think is interesting for the game and could improve the game, right? At the end of the day, whether it does that or not is another issue, but I think that them trying this stuff in early access, doing these interesting things and potentially making some mistakes along the way is totally fine, and I encourage it because it is early access and this is the opportunity to do it. You don't want them to be doing this when the game is fully released, but rather doing this right now where it's kind of a little bit more of a controlled environment where they are allowed to make mistakes and make things into the game, put things into the game that might not be the most healthy for it, but ultimately guide us and steer us in the right direction. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you guys think that this is a good change, or do you think that this is a bad change? Do you guys think that they're adding too many socketables right now, or are you happy with them adding more variety in the socketables that we have for our gear? Let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, if you want to talk about this a little bit more, I do stream every single night on twitch.tv/misoxshiru. So come hang out there with me and we can chat and discuss. And also, if you enjoyed the video, remember hitting the sub button is going to be the best way to support the channel, and it is completely free. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see y'all on the next one. All right, guys. Peace.